Alright guys, Epic fucking Slayers here, welcome back to a brand new Division video. In this one, I've got a brief recap of today's state of the game, which included some great news about Tacticians. Anyone who uses Tacticians will be very happy with this. Some updates on the 1.8 PTS for console, and then also a look at Strike, Assault and Ambush global events, and basically some feedback on those. If you do enjoy this video, please don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe if you are new, and leave a comment. With that said, let's get into the recap. So let's start off with the great news, the change that has come to Tacticians. So if you didn't know already, with Tacticians, the turret has been removed as a means to get stacks with Tacticians, and I believe a lot of people who use Tactician Authority have basically been asking for this to be re-added back. Basically, Massive are reintroducing the turret back to the way it was, so you will be able to get stacks from the turret as well as from your weapon. So that's a great change, and I'm really glad that Massive have chosen to listen to the community. Moving on to the console PTS. So if you didn't know, this was actually live since Tuesday, and there's been a little bit of confusion and a little bit of a shambles actually regarding the codes going out. So what Massive have said is that some reminder emails have been sent out to people who were part of the last PTS who perhaps didn't redeem their codes. Those have gone out to those people so they can go ahead and do that. But for new players, those have not been sent out yet, and will actually be sent out as of this video tonight. So hopefully for you guys, you'll get those soon and you'll be able to jump on the PTS and get testing. So moving on to the Assault global event, which has recently ended. I've got to say, I absolutely loved Assault. It felt very good to feel strong for once in the Division. I think the real problem with the Division has been sort of that player power. No matter how strong you got, the NPCs always hit harder than you, really, or they hit too hard. And this felt very, very good. To be in the face of a heavy with a shield and melting him in half a second with an MP5 just felt absolutely amazing, and I think the majority of the community felt the same way. Massive have basically said, you know, thanks for the great feedback. It obviously was received very, very well, and I think at one point actually I had to queue to come onto the game, which hasn't happened in a very long time. So clearly a lot of people came back for that, and I think they're heading in the right direction with introducing these global events and these sort of new modifiers that really change up the way you play the game. So with the Assault global event in mind, let's talk about the new token rewards that were talked about today in the state of the game, along with the new Strike global event and Ambush global event. So let's talk about the new token rewards first. So as you're probably aware, if you've been playing the new global event Assault, or even if you've been playing the Division since day one, Lexington, Amherst and Clear Sky have been by far the fastest missions you can run. And in the global event, that's what most people were farming in order to get those tokens and get those caches. So what they've decided to do is actually reduce the amount of global event tokens you get from those. And really that's just to encourage you to play other missions. I don't actually agree with this, and the reason I don't agree with this is because, yes, those missions were quick, but also you've got to remember that normally if you were running, say, Lexington, it would take 2 runs through to get a superior cache, and then you'd have to have RNG on your side, and you'd actually have to get a classified piece, and then it would have to be rolled well in order for you to use it. And I didn't really feel as though there was anything wrong with that. What I think they probably should have done here is they should have buffed the global events you get from other missions. So say, for example, Lexington you run in 10 minutes, a normal other mission you run in, say, 15 minutes, then probably buff that mission up to, say, 900 tokens, 1,000 tokens, perhaps even more, just to be in line with those missions. I don't think you should actually reduce the amount of global event tokens, but that's what they're doing, and it's up to them. You'll have to let me know in the comments below if you agree with that. Moving on to the Ambush and Strike global event. With Ambush, when you take cover, you get a damage buff, and when you move around, that buff basically slowly disappears, and then you start to take damage. And what it's meant to do is encourage players to return to the roots of the Division, and that's to take cover and work from there, and sort of less face tanking from NPCs. So it's pretty much the opposite to Assault, and I'm happy with this. I wouldn't say it's the roots of the Division, because I've never seen the Division as being a sort of take cover game. With that said, I'm glad they're actually introducing this. I think this is a very good thing to have. Ultimately it slows down the gameplay, which I think is also very, very cool. Let's not forget, this actually only activates whilst you're in combat. And basically you're going to have to coordinate where you stand and where you're going to be moving to in order to keep that damage buff up and destroy the enemies. So I think that's a really good global event modifier, and again, that's called Ambush. Strike is the next global event that Massive talks about in today's state of the game, and Strike is all about explosions. Explosions on the NPCs and explosions on the player. In Strike, enemies that get killed drop a grenade that damages the other NPCs, and when a player takes too much damage, he explodes, takes damage, and damages players around him. So basically you need to spread out, otherwise, you know, you could take too much damage, explode, and then damage the person next to you, potentially killing them. So it's kind of like a team-based modifier in, but you have to be solo, if that makes sense. You can't be near your other players. And I like the idea that when you kill an NPC, they pretty much martyrdom in the sense of COD, where they drop a grenade and it would also damage other NPCs. I think it's a really cool global event modifier, and I'm really looking forward to it. So yeah, it was nice to hear about that in today's State of the Game. There we have it, guys. Thank you very much for watching today's video. If you did enjoy this one, please don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe if you're new, and leave a comment down below. With all that said, thanks for all your support, and until next time, peace.